Hello everyone, welcome to the Sun, karmas in all signs. The Sun, known as Surya, is the creative force in our life and most definitely represents our soul purpose also in this incarnation. On a material level, the Sun represents our own creative potential, specifically the ability to create wealth in our life. You will know your sun sign by your date of birth, but be careful, we are using the Vedic Astrology system here, the sidereal zodiac. Check below this video very carefully to make sure you have the right sign of your sun. The Devata of the Sun is known as Surya, but the sun that we see in the sky every day, we actually call this sun Ravi. But even more mystical than this, in the Vedic system, we understand that Ravi, as he travels around the zodiac, he is actually changing form. He is becoming a different sun known as the 12 Adityas. These powerful and very sattvic or pure Adityas are the actual source of the creativity of the sun in each sign. They give us the potential to create wealth and to find resources in this lifetime. The sun in your chart, in your horoscope, represents you. This is the true representation of who you are, a spiritual being, part of the Supreme. You are not that moon who is a temporary indication of your mind, or the ascendant, the temporary physical body. Yes, the ascendant and moon will be markers for your karmas in this life, very important markers, but they are temporary. They are not going to show you who you are, who you will be in the future. The sun is the spiritual self linked to every other being. Therefore, the sun in your chart in each lifetime shows you how you are progressing spiritually, how you are progressing in your understanding of this material incarnation and situation. Everything related to the sun can only truly benefit you, but if the sun is afflicted, there are difficult karmas which are harming your spiritual development and which need to be worked through in this lifetime. Furthermore, the sun in your chart shows your soul purpose. This is really important. You can never be happy, never even be healthy, actually, if you are not committed to your soul purpose. It might take you some time to find this, but you must do so. People talk about, I want to meet my soulmate, etc. But how can you be ready for your soulmate if you are not performing the soul karmas, the soul purpose you came here to perform? There's a very important reason why the sun represents our health and vitality. Our health and vitality of our body comes from this body being used, it's a machine, don't forget, to fulfill these karmas we were born for, this soul purpose. If we do not find and perform our soul purpose, our soul, which is us, don't forget, as I've just said, cannot be happy. And if the soul is not happy, the body will get sick. Conversely, when you are following soul karma, no matter what difficulties, illnesses come upon you, Sun has the ability to burn up the toxics. He can even burn up negative karmas in our life. So it's so important to find this soul purpose and to follow it. Because the soul is the Atman, the spirit self, it actually links us to every other living entity in this whole material creation. If you ever feel lonely, believe me, it's an illusion. Put your hand on your heart. Truly, you will feel that connection, because that is where Atman is in our material body, in that heart chakra. You will feel that connection to every other soul who is living. Try this. It is very comforting to do so. On a purely material level, the sun in your chart represents authority, government, rulership, the king, leaders in every capacity, including your father. The sun's rulership is over the sign of Leo, the fifth sign of power and authority. And his office, Multrikone, is also there because king has his office in his palace of necessity. The sun is exalted in the sign of Aries, which represents the fort or the castle. This is where the king defends his realm with the help of the general-in-chief, who is Mars. The sun in our chart gives us courage, determinism, dynamism to actually fulfill our karmas, all of our karmas in our chart. And most importantly, it gives us the ability to rise anew every day, to get over every setback and to have total renewal. The sun demands purity, at least that we attempt to purify ourselves of our own impurities and faults. He definitely demands truth. Truth is the deep dharma of the sun. Now in this age of Kali, truth and purity are diminishing every day, but still the sun will demand that we try for this. As I say, he doesn't care what yuga it is. So he can be a very punishing graha, very punishing and exacting, because he has a burning nature. Because of this, the sun will carry some negative retribution. As I say, he's very punishing. But here's the thing. If we try to keep to the path of purity, of honesty, of uprightness and honor at all times, being 100% truthful without hurting people, obviously, the sun will bless us. And what blessings come from the sun? Health, vitality, wealth, and of course, the most important blessing of all, we get to fulfill our soul karmas. Ravi goes round the zodiac in 1 year, 1 solar year, but we are using sidereal zodiac here because we are mapping exactly the rasis to the stars. Really, the stars create the signs, not the other way round. And so we are using the sidereal zodiac, the original zodiac itself, the zodiac which carries your karmas. It's very important though, if your date of birth should be the first or last date in these sun sign periods, just to check in your Vedic birth chart. If you do not have that, check below my description box. At the very bottom, there is a website, Devaguru. Put in your exact birth data, find the sign of your sun. Let's quickly go through them. So the sun is in Aries from April the 13th until May the 14th. In Taurus, May the 15th to June the 14th. Gemini, June the 15th to July the 14th. Cancer, July the 15th to August the 14th. Leo, August the 15th until September the 15th. And sun is in sidereal Virgo from September the 16th until October the 15th. Sun enters Libra on October the 16th through until November the 14th. Scorpio, November the 15th until December the 14th. Sagittarius, December the 15th until January the 13th. Capricorn, Jan the 14th to February the 11th. Aquarius, Feb the 12th until March the 12th. And finally, Pisces, March the 13th until April the 12th. When the sun is in Aries, he's very powerful indeed because he is exalted. Why is he exalting? Because he's in the sign of the fort or the castle. He's with Mars, the general of his army, fighting off the enemies. He's in a very powerful and active position. The sun is on the battlefield when he's in Aries, and he is fighting a righteous war, you may be certain. So it is for the good of everybody. The sun is powerful, potent, and entirely competent in this sign. The Aditya, or the form of the sun god in Aries, is known as Datra. This is our most powerful Aditya, giving the whole power of creation. So sun in Aries is going to give you tremendous strength to gather resources, as I shall explain. Deep inside, you are aware that you have this power, the power to begin, the power of courage, the power of initiative, and you should never be afraid to use it. Sun in Aries gives you vision to plan ahead, to see the opportunities, to take risks and take calculated risks too. The Sun in Aries gives you the vision to start up anything, to begin anything at any time in your life. It really is a most creative and helpful potential. As I say, sun is on the battlefield when he's in Aries, and sometimes sun in Aries, people feel like they are actually engaging in a battle in this lifetime, but that's no problem. They can enjoy this, enjoy the excitement and the definite opportunity for success. It's just about fighting and brawling in life. It's not that at all. The sun in Aries is 9 signs away from his own sign of Leo. It's about finding truth in life, true philosophy in life. This is really what you are fighting for. It's a very pioneering position for the sun. You're not afraid to do something differently, do something new, be totally innovative. And you are an inspiration to other people when you do these actions. Doesn't matter what your job, what your career, what you're doing in life, you have the power to do it differently, to start it up in a different way that will actually set the track for other people. And the impulse to win, to be first, to push ahead, gives Sun in Aries tremendous courage, that's for sure. But the problem is in your chart when Saturn gets involved. Saturn is enemy to Mars and the Sun. When he gets aspecting this Sun, with the Sun, opposed to Sun aspecting, he can cause damage to your belief and your willpower to move forward. But even though Saturn aspecting this Sun in Aries can cause doubt and a little less self-esteem, nonetheless, with time, you will win out and you will initiate what you are meant to do in this lifetime. The Sun in Aries is also very protective of your family, protective of your friends, your community. You are like that warrior in chief protecting everybody. This is why Sun in Aries is such an esteemed position for the Sun. But ill-placed by house and having challenging aspect, particularly of the nodes, Rahu, Ketu, Sun in Aries can make mistakes. Sun in Aries can be too hot-headed with a very high temper, very temperamental in terms of hating frustration or to be held back. You can be off even before the starter's gun has been fired, and you can get yourself into some hot water many times. Sun in Aries gives you a very active disposition, definitely. You do like exercise and sport very often, and definitely this is good for you. Sun in Aries is good for your health, giving you vitality and strength to overcome all sorts of diseases. But afflicted, you can get definite injuries to your head, you can have migraines, you can have accidents, you can have high blood pressure. You need to relax just a little bit occasionally to let off some steam. The Sun in Aries is ethical in relationships normally, so you're a very protective person, protective particularly of your mother. There can be a very karmic connection to the mother when the Sun is in Aries. You're very forthright and active in your relationships, very idealistic, very much romantically inclined when you have the Sun in Aries, but you're impatient also, that's the thing. Your soulmate that you draw to you will often have the qualities of Libra. It doesn't have to be Sun in Libra, Moon or Ascendant in Libra, just having those balanced qualities. Someone who will listen to you patiently, support you, but give you the other side of the argument. Sometimes you are too impulsive, even though you have good vision to see. A Libran type person helps you to just relax a little bit, put your feet up and take a rest in between your endeavors. Sun in Aries does well in any disciplined situation because of your Mars connection here. Mars and the Sun are a disciplined connection. You can go into any area where you have to discipline yourself, where you have to perform at certain times, give of your utmost best, and you're a definite leader. Sun in Aries loves to lead from the front, and Sun in Aries will always rise to the occasion whenever there is a crisis. And how do you get wealth and resources? Well, the Aditya of the Sun here is Datra. He gives you the creative power to get success whenever you start something afresh. So if you fail, pick yourself up and start again every time. Eventually, you will get it right. So when the vision comes to you, this Aditya gives you the power to create wealth from these ideas. So always push out when you have new ideas, new vision. Definitely this is how you get resources. And this is the essence of your soul purpose when the Sun is in Aries. It's to be brave. It's to, no matter what the situation, no matter how many times you fail, start up again. Start with a fresh breath. Start something new. Do not be afraid to initiate. Do not be afraid to go it alone. Sun in Aries is a pioneer. It's great for enterprising people in any sphere of life. So you are definitely leading the army into unknown territory when you have the Sun in Aries. Life is a bit of a battle for you, but a battle which you can win. But fight it fairly, fight it honestly, fight it with honor, and you will fulfill your soul purpose. When the Sun, Ravi, enters Taurus, he enters into an earth sign. This is quite difficult because the Sun is fire tattva, but not entirely incompatible because fire has a place in the home. And Taurus is the sign of the homestead, ruled by Venus and the Moon. Jala tattva, water planets as well. So there is abundance. There is a great deal of material blessings available when the Sun is in Taurus. Now, the Aditya, or form of the sun god associated when the sun is in Taurus, is Aryaman. He is the chief of the Pitris, or the ancestors. So sun in Taurus connects you to your ancestors. You should know very, very strongly to your family connections. Through family, you get creativity, inspiration, and it becomes very much central to your karmic destiny and your soul purpose. Sun in Taurus desires security, desires to feel safe, desires to make things solid and long-lasting in your life. You don't like temporary situations, temporary friendships, temporary jobs, temporary relationships. You want everything to be long-lasting, permanent, so it can grow and provide security and happiness. It's about family life, security, landed interest, whatever it is that gives you that grounding. You need that. Without the grounding of your family, of your relatives, Sun in Taurus can never fulfill their soul purpose. So Sun in Taurus is not going to go adrift from this foundation. It would have to be a very afflicted sun indeed. So to get this security, Sun in Taurus people can work incredibly hard. Incredibly focused, hard workers have this Sun in Taurus. But here's the thing, just like oxen plowing the field, you need motivation. You need a little bit of something prodding you from behind to keep you going. Now, this is the thing. It can be personal, it can be inspirational, but you need to be motivated to work at your best. You see, Sun in this luxurious sign of Venus, and the moon can be a bit slow at times to take up opportunities. You can be a bit lazy even, given the chance. Once you feel like things are ticking on okay, you can slow down. Relax, nothing wrong with that, but you could miss opportunities because you are incredibly cautious and stubborn sometimes. You see, given the chance, Sun in Taurus likes to take it easy, likes to relax, likes to bask in the safety of whatever it is it's making them feel most happy. And basically, what makes Taurus feel happy is food. Food, because the moon rules nourishment, ruler of this sign, and Venus is about all luxury and satiety. So certainly a negatively impacted sun can become a little bit overindulgent when he's in Taurus, and definitely isn't just food, but all the Venus luxuries, all the clothes and jewelry and finery of life. All of this makes you feel happy and feel more secure. But this powerful Aditya Aryaman will definitely give you luxuries in life. At some point you will get what you want materially, mostly with the sun in Taurus. You can be excellent local businessman as well. And as I say, people near to you rather than afar prosper you in your career and in your business. Sun in Taurus people probably make some of the best friends in the zodiac. When the sun is in Taurus, you are loyal, devoted to your friends, to your colleagues, to your family. Those who get close to you realize that you are definitely someone they can depend on. See, Sun in Taurus, as I've just said, by the Aditya, is carrying the karmas of the ancestors. And one of the things you have to do is to take care of your family. Every level of your family, your soul purpose is involved with them. But not just family, but everybody becomes sort of family to you. Work colleagues become like part of your family psychically. So do your friends. So you need to bring everybody into a state of harmony together. When there is any discord, family-wise, friendship circles, or anything to do with workplace disharmony, you become intensely disturbed by it. One thing you intensely dislike is confrontations and showdowns. These things tire you and you just want to get away from them as soon as possible. It's something you actually try to avoid as much as you can. But this is a good thing because in a way, Sun in Taurus has patience with people. You know in time, everything calms down and you're prepared to wait for that to happen. Negatively, because you want this security and harmony around you to feel satisfied and happy, you may put up with less than harmonious situations for a very long time. And because Sun is health, don't forget this can actually impact on your well-being. Be careful. If you're feeling stuck, Taurus is a fixed sign. Because of disharmony around you, say workplace, do not think that you just have to stick it out. This is one of the things. Taurus don't like beginning a afresh, but sometimes there is no choice. You may have in your relationships quite a dominating and strong partner. Don't forget, Scorpio is the opposite sign to Taurus. So in your business partnerships, in your spousal situation, you tend to attract very dominating and demanding personalities, or at least more aggressive, outgoing personalities than yourself. And you attract wealth by the power of the Pitris. Aryaman is the Aditya, which carries, as I've said, power of the ancestors. What does this mean in everyday life? It means that looking at what your grandparents did, what your parents did, even your great-grandparents, what did they do for a living? Sometimes family business, sometimes same type of career as your family. Past family, grandparents, great-grandparents, something around what they have done. That karma will come into your way to earn a living. Look at it very carefully. Comment below. I'd be interested. It's a very creative position for the Sun. Sun is creative power. Venus is artistry. Very many artists and creative people earn wealth from this Sun in Taurus. And the sole purpose of the Sun in Taurus is met right where you are, in your localized environment. You don't need to go abroad, go very far to find your sole purpose. It's right in front of you, with your family, in your local community. It doesn't mean that Sun in Taurus people don't travel, don't go into foreign land, don't have foreign residence. They do by other karmas in their chart. But here's the thing. Once you get into that new situation, that foreign residence, you've definitely got to find a local community, a place where you can put down roots and significantly contribute to that local situation. Then you are fulfilling soul purpose. And because of Venus rulership, which is reproduction and children, Sun in Taurus, the soul karma is definitely to have children. If you do not have children, contributing to the welfare of other children in your family is a very important part of your soul purpose. Spiritually, Sun in Taurus is about tradition, traditional religious path, conservative religious system. This makes you feel happier, and within this you are to provide continuity. Sun in Taurus is like a rock in the middle of a storm. You are this place of safety and security, not just for your own family, but for many around you. Sun in Gemini finds himself in the house of his friend Mercury. The Sun and Mercury have a mutual respect for each other. It's not exactly a close friendship, but there is definitely harmony between them. Therefore, Sun in Gemini has many positive factors to give. Generally, though, it's going to keep you totally stimulated and on the move with new things throughout your life. The Sun is in a sign which is 11 houses away from his own home. He's going to push you out into society, bring you into many various network circles. There's little stability with the Sun in Gemini. Sun in Gemini has the power of Mitra Aditya. This is how the Sun shines in Gemini, with this Aditya, this creative power of friendship. It is the network circles. It is people who you connect to continually throughout your life that bring you into your soul purpose. Your soul purpose is to be a friend to everybody, literally everybody. People who you meet in the supermarket, people who you meet socially, definitely, but everybody, people on the street even. Sun in Gemini, meeting people, greeting people with equality and care is very, very important. And people are attracted to you very, very quickly when you have Sun in Gemini on a very superficial level, and then it can become closer over time. Why? Because you have this magnetic personality given by Mercury, this enthusiasm, this wit, this youthfulness about you that is simply attracting people to you. You have intelligence, you have vivacity, you have the ability to connect to people from all stratas of society. And the power of the Sun's creativity is coming through your communication. This can be written word, definitely. Writing, you're an excellent writer, communicator, very skilled, but you're also an excellent speaker. It's not just your speaking voice, though. It's your choice of words. It's how you speak. Your communication skill is exacting, very, very illuminating and attractive to others. You love words. You love language. You can be multilingual sometimes, but whatever it is, your choice of words is extremely attractive and has a very powerful influence on other people. Now, Mercury is the planet of youth. You can be a very youthful, joie de vivre person throughout your life. You're always starting something new, like an eternal student, always learning something new, moving in new social circles, always getting new friends. There's hardly a time in your life, no matter what age you are. You can be 90 and a new friend comes into your life. So you're always picking up new forms of stimulation, intellectual stimulation, friendship circle stimulation, and this is what keeps you so youthful. But the Sun in Gemini, weakened by house position or by affliction of malefics like Rahu, Saturn, Ketu, even Mars, can become very, very restless. It's hard to sit down. It's hard to concentrate, hard to focus. You can have a pile of books on your tablet, a pile of books on your bookshelf which you collect, but you never have time to actually read them because concentrated energy is difficult for the Sun in Gemini. Mercury is about skill. So the Sun in Gemini is at his most creative when you get a particular skill. A particular training, a particular skill will open the way for abundance in your life. And maybe more than one such skill may definitely come to you. Obviously, skills may involve speaking, writing, communicating, definitely, but also working with young people, children. Mercury rules children. And definitely teaching or giving skills to others may be part of this. Gemini's Sun is extremely restless in your relationship. Sagittarius rules 7th house. Very often you get involved in long distance relationship or relationship with somebody from foreign land or different culture or somebody who you actually meet when you are traveling. Stimulating Sagittarius type of person, again, not necessarily Sun, Moon or Ascendant, but a Sagittarius person means someone who will expand your horizons, travel with you, get into intellectual, philosophical discussion, stimulation, even political discussion. All of these things stimulate you, make you happy in the relationship. But Gemini is a very humane position for the Sun. It's a very caring and all-inclusive position, giving you a very strong attraction to nature itself and animals. Why? Because this is what Mercury represents. Sun in Gemini does well when you become vegetarian, by the way, because this is what Mercury is. And definitely Sun in Gemini shows a sole purpose of connecting to all beings in a protective and interactive way, because Mitra Aditya is about helping those who are helpless, about forming friendships with those who are needy, including non-humans. And how does wealth and abundance come into your life? How does the Sun express in Gemini? Through the Aditya, again, Mitra, it comes through your friendship network circles. It's who you know, not what you know entirely, that builds you opportunities. Friends point the way to possible career, possible opening, possible prosperity for you, whether it is business, whether it is self-employment, whether it is employment. Your connections to other people open the doors for your prosperity. What is your sole purpose? To connect to people, to get out there and bring people together, very often in societal groups, etc. But this connection, this bringing of people together for happiness, for laughter, for support of each other is what you are here to accomplish. In addition, connection to your siblings, if you should have them, mostly you will do with this Sun Gemini, or if not to your cousins, is karmic and very important. Never lose connection to them, no matter how difficult or distant they should become by many other karmas and factors. Keeping connection open to them is important to fulfill soul purpose. And finally, keep yourself connected. Sun in Gemini and social isolation do not go together. When you let yourself become isolated from society, it can be very damaging to your soul purpose, to your whole sense of health and happiness. In fact, living in a city atmosphere is often far more easier for Sun in Gemini than in the countryside, because you can keep these connections healthy in your life and fulfill your soul purpose. It's interesting when the Sun has gone into Cancer. On the one hand, the fire Agni Tattva of the Sun has gone into a water sign. You might think this is not good, but it's very good in some ways, because this sign is ruled by the moon, and the Sun and the moon are great friends to each other. It's a very balanced situation. Why is this? Because the sun is masculine energy and the moon is female energy, not Venus and Mars, by the way. No, it's the sun and the moon representing masculinity and femininity coming together like this. It's harmonious. It brings a male and female energy into your soul. It can be very helpful. The Aditya, which gives the power to the sun in this sign of Cancer, is Varuna Aditya, Lord of the oceans, but he gives you a very protective factor, great creative power, but helps you to protect others, and actually in turn he protects you. And actually you need a little bit of protection sometimes, because the sun in Cancer is extremely sensitive. The moon is sensitivity, very gentle graha. Sun being in this sign, your sensitivity is heightened to a great degree, but often you hide it. And certainly sometimes, particularly in a male chart, sun in Cancer, you can hide this under a shell of outward cool. Just like the crab has a hard outer shell, you have this shell covering you, protecting your feelings and emotions. And here's the thing though, you've got to get them out of that shell. You cannot find your higher soul purpose unless all of you, male and female, connect to your deep emotions. Because the deep emotions of caring, nurturance and sustenance, which are shown by this sun in the sign of Cancer, are definitely part of your soul purpose. You have to feel these feelings, these sensitivities, then you can take action. Nonetheless, until you get to know people closely, sun in Cancer will put on a little bit of a show. You will appear a little tougher, a little harder than you are, because you think that that's going to get you appreciation. But really, people appreciate your sensitivity. Your vulnerability is your strength, not your weakness. And sun in this moon sign makes you very often good looking, knowing how to present yourself very, very fashionably, very, very harmoniously to other people. And you possess a great deal of charm. Another very important factor about sun in this sign of Cancer is that your mind is directly affected, because moon is the mind. So when the solar power has gone into the sign of the moon, your moods are affected by this power. Your moods are really powerful. You can go from one state of being to another in the flick of a second. Your moods have a direct impact on your success, on your connectivity to society, and definitely on your relationships. People who get close to you have to live with this changeable factor of your moods. They never know from one day to the next what your mood could possibly be. Now, the more harmoniously placed is this sun in Cancer, the better you will deal with these changes in mood, and they will not impact relationships too badly. But a badly afflicted, badly placed by house sun in Cancer, it has a major impact on your success in life, progress in life, and on your deep, intimate relationships. A lot of this moodiness is completely unconscious. What's happened is the sun is now 12 signs away from his own home. You can have phobias, fears, irrational fears, all sorts of difficult anger issues, hiding anger, which can actually make you depressed. So early in life, sun in Cancer can be full of self-doubt, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-belief because of this 12 houses away from the sun. But you benefit from time alone. Meditation and deep spiritual wisdom gives you back that confidence, shows you the correct path with time. And very often, correct path involves foreign land, foreign travel, foreign connections, far away from your place of birth. Why? Because again, 12th from the sun indicates foreign lands. Now, you do not have to have residence there, but connecting to people from far distant lands, working with them in some connection, often brings you prosperity, brings you success. And the sun going 12th to himself increases fear sometimes. Fear when you initiate, fear when you start something new. Self-doubt comes up. And here's the thing, Cancer represents the sea, large bodies of water. Many people sometimes, sun in this sign, have a fear of water, a fear of the sea or large bodies of such water. The Sun in Cancer puts home and family at the center of your life, definitely. But early home environment is not always harmonious. And throughout life, there can be family conflict. It seems to just happen all the time. You're always trying to sort out family issues, and they never seem to resolve. Sun represents government, authority figures, and father. Because he's gone 12 to himself, you can have difficulty relating to father, to the government, to authority figures, particularly early on in life. Sometimes father may be lost to you, either through divorce, death, or some distance comes between you. It's commonly seen. As far as your working life is concerned and your ability to get resources, wealth, you can do very, very well in a business situation, but you do even better when you work with business partner or you work in a team. Because of the insecurity inside you, as I've said, until you mature into this Sun in Cancer, you can have difficulty with food as well, because Moon rules food, nourishment. Sun having gone 12 to himself, you can get into eating disorders, food addiction. All of these things can occur when the Sun is in Cancer. In relationships, both male and female, Sun in Cancer are intensely protective of their family, intensely protective of their spouse, sometimes too much so. You can be possessive, a little bit clingy sometimes, if you are honest with yourself. At the same time, when you feel vulnerable in intimate relationships, you can just shut yourself off, shut off emotions. You can become cold. You can become distant from your spouse. This can affect intimate relationships. Have some awareness of this. That's why Capricorn is 7th away from this Sun in Cancer. A Capricornian type person. Once again, it doesn't mean Sun, Moon, Ascendant in Capricorn, but someone who is very business orientated, who is totally committed to their working path is a very good mate for you. Because they are so absorbed in their own work, ambitions, career, or just doing things in the home, they are very committed to their own work, whatever it should be. They are not affected by your moodiness, by your changeability. They can deal with you very, very well. And their presence, their sense of purpose becomes a good sense of security for yourself. So how do you get wealth with the Sun in Cancer? Very, very easily, because Varuna, the Aditya, blesses you with the ability to get abundance. Moon is about material success, material abundance. And you get it when you nurture others, whether you're male or female, your profession, your business, your ability to nurture, protect, care for others in any capacity whatsoever brings you wealth and abundance. It's about literally feeding others with confidence, with success, with a sense of their own purpose. So whatever you do, whatever your business, your real business is to mother others, literally, to be a source of inspiration, care, and protection for society in general. When the Sun is in the sign of Leo, he has his full power. He's at home, but he's in his office, Multricone sign. He's getting to work without any restrictions at all. Even if afflicted, Sun in Leo is most powerful karma to have in your chart. The form of the Aditya associated with the Sun in Leo is Sakra or Indra Aditya. The kingly qualities of the king of the demigods are with you when you have the Sun in Leo. The great blessing of the Sun in Leo is self-belief. Self-esteem should be strong. You believe in your own self, in your own purpose in this life. And if you feel that is not the case because of affliction to this Sun, it is there. It just needs to be brought out in the right circumstance. The Sun is a king. When he's in Leo, you certainly have the ability to inspire others, to lead others, to show the way to others. You are like a shining light to other people. People are attracted to you. People are definitely influenced by what you do and what you say. The Sun in Leo gives you literally a kingly quality about yourself. No matter how poor you may be, you have this way of attracting attention by your sense of self, by this sort of proud appearance you have. You will always give out an impression of being confident and secure, no matter how you feel inside. But high dharmic qualities can be here as well. Sun in Leo isn't just about showmanship. It's about being dutiful, respectful, and totally truthful. These are the blessings of a well-aspected, well-placed Sun in Leo. An afflicted Sun in Leo can go either way. There can be that high self-esteem, but you're unsure of it. You feel that you need more attention than you get. Sun in Leo needs the attention. You need to be noticed. And an afflicted Sun in Leo can go a little over the top to get that attention. Sometimes Sun in Leo cannot stand to listen to anybody else's advice, cannot stand to be told what to do, and this can be limiting in career and other situations. But it's really the afflicted Sun Leo that has the most difficulty listening to authority figures, because a well-placed, well-aspected Sun in Leo, you listen up really well because you want to learn. And the two planets afflicting the Sun that are the most dangerous are Saturn with the Sun aspecting in any way, and Rahu with the Sun or aspecting. Saturn in your chart afflicting this Sun in Leo, you can have difficulties with father and authority figures all the time, all throughout your life, because deep down you are not so sure of yourself as you show yourself outwardly to be. Probably will improve after age 36, however. Rahu will bring this Sun in Leo to extremes, complete excess sometimes. Sometimes you are completely unstoppable in your progress and it just seems too good to be true because it's so fast. And then Rahu can bring you down the minute you get too puffed up or too proud with your progress. Sun in Leos are also very susceptible to flattery themselves. People eventually sometimes get to know that the way to get into the good books or to get ahead with a Sun in Leo boss, whatever, is simply to flatter them. This can put you into very difficult manipulating situations. Be aware of this susceptibility. But still, generally speaking, Sun in Leo people attract good friends, good associations, and you actually are a very good leader in your social network circles. But nevertheless, it is in the intimate one-to-one spousal relationships very often that the Sun in Leo can have some problems. Aquarius is on the 7th house away from here, ruled by enemies of the Sun, those two enemies I've been speaking about, Saturn and Rahu. When you get too close to somebody, when you have to live with somebody in a relationship situation, this is where the vulnerability of the Sun in Leo becomes apparent. You have a very big public image, show of yourself, and you feel quite vulnerable when people see you basically with your hair down or whatever. You definitely don't like people to get that close to you, but how can you have an intimate relationship without that? It's a conflict for the Sun in Leo. However, the Sun in Leo has a big heart and you fall in love quickly or very romantically inclined. You will definitely want to settle down, marry. But sometimes if you are not compatible, you can put down a real barrier between yourself and your spouse. The perfect soulmate for the Sun in Leo has those Aquarian independent qualities. Aquarius is opposite to Leo. Does not necessarily have to have the Sun, Moon, Ascendant in the sign of Aquarius, but is independent, doing their own thing, not needy of excess attention from Leo. Then Leo feels happier and more committed. How do you get wealth? How do you get resources? Well, Indra Aditya gives you the power of resources in two ways. One, when you take responsibility, no matter what your job, what your occupation, do it with full personal responsibility. You get resources under your own steam, definitely. Management positions, leadership is definitely good for you, as I say, and you definitely work well when you are under your own steam. Being in a business partnership is very difficult. Working in a team is not always easy, or even what you are meant to do so much with the Sun in Leo. Get yourself into that independent space where you can lead others and give security to other people, perhaps, who you employ. That would be superb. The spotlight is made for Leo, so being on a stage, being a public performer of any sort, even in politics, entertainment industry, teaching, lecturing, whatever it is, when the spotlight comes onto you, you relax fully. And that is where you get your greatest success. The sole purpose of the Sun in Leo is to be strong. Simply, your strength must be consistent and there for other people. You must be someone other people can turn to for guidance, help, and support at all times, in your family circle, in your workplace, and definitely in your friendship networks. When you become this person who supports others, your strength grows mightily every day. Still, you have to foster humility inside. This is the challenge, and your purpose is to get the inner humility with the outer strength. This is a win-win situation where you get happiness, health, and success. It's a conflicting factor when the Sun has gone second to himself in the sign of Virgo. There are many, many good factors here because Sun is in the sign of his good friend Mercury, but he's also in the sign of Rahu. But following the light of the Aditya Vishavan, who actually is the form of the Sun in Virgo, saves the day. He is connected to purity, service, and the laying down of social laws. Sun in Virgo is excellent at finding information, at researching because of Mercury-Rahu rulership. And definitely Sun in Virgo can be very scholarly, very academic if Mercury is well placed. Virgo Sun is associated with the fine details of life. Mercury is increased in his intensity by Rahu because Mercury, Rahu work together to look deeply into the workings of things. So Sun in Virgo likes to know how things work, and they are particularly adept at dealing with money and financial concerns ruled by Mercury. Sun in Virgo gives technical expertise, often in computers, digital technology, etc., mathematics, and in all problem-solving considerations, including scientific endeavor. In a practical, hands-on way or a more abstract, intellectual way, Sun in Virgo wants to solve the problems of life. But there is also a desire to purify, to have everything pristine, shiny, new. And this is why Sun in Virgo expert at mending things, finding solution to problems, as I say. But the problem is that Sun in Virgo can get immersed in the details, can become even obsessional sometimes, and definitely supercritical. This can be excellent in an academic field, but difficult in personal relationships because you become super critical of other people and their habits and even towards yourself. And this desire for purity and perfection can lead to mental health issues sometimes, such as OCD. Obsessional compulsive disorders are very common when the Sun is afflicted in Virgo. You must watch your speech. It's really important. Sun has gone second to himself into the actual house of speech. So your speech is going to make a huge difference to almost everything in your life. Hold back from criticism. Hold back from sharp words. And so much in your life will run very, very smoothly. And because Virgo is about purity and health and the use of herbs, all ruled by Mercury, you can be adept at medicine, adept at healing, including in alternative methods. But the acne of the Sun, going second to himself, is in the house of food and nourishment. Sun in Virgo can have excellent cooking skills, excellent skill in dealing with food preparation very often. In your relationships, though, Sun in Virgo can be a little bit tricky because the opposite sign, Pisces, means that you often attract a partner who is a little more, let's say, less focused than yourself. And this induces you to be excessively critical in your personal relationships. On the other hand, a Piscean type partner, not necessarily Sun, Moon, Ascendant there, but Piscean qualities, is actually your perfect soulmate because they are not going to be so bothered by this criticism. They will completely rise above it. In addition, a partner who has a deep spirituality, like a Pisces type person, will take you out of yourself, will help you to become less worrisome. This is very, very beneficial. How do you get wealth in your life? By using your skill. Vrisavan, the Aditya, gives you skill in dealing with everything to do with nature, everything to do with landed interest sometimes, and definitely with fine detail of technical skill. You will find some skill in some area connected to Mercury or Rahu, and you'll exploit it to the highest capacity. So check the placement of Mercury Rahu in your chart to get more detail. Generally, Mercury is about academic work, spoken work, teaching, learning, and writing. Rahu is about large technology, large machines, and definitely about nature itself, because Rahu is non-human form. So dealing with animals, dealing with nature, dealing with the herbs, plants, and medicines is definitely a very prosperous and skilled area for the Sun in Virgo. Sun in Virgo person is an excellent manager of resources, manager of money. So slowly throughout your life, money grows literally in your care. And your sole purpose is definitely about becoming some sort of expert, technically skilled, and helping other people solve problems, seeing into the fine details of life and helping things run smoothly for everybody else is definitely what makes you feel happy and fulfilled. In this present age, Sun in Virgo people can become happily engaged dealing with the climate emergency, for example, because you are the guardian of the earth in a way. So definitely this is an area which will give you soul satisfaction. Rather than becoming overwhelmed by this difficult situation facing the planet, you get involved in practical ways to deal with it. So in keeping yourself busy, constantly busy dealing with problems, you are ever fulfilling the purpose you took birth for. The Sun is in Libra. He's in his debilitated state. He's become debilitated because he is opposite furthest away from his exaltation in Aries. But nonetheless, the strongest point of debilitation is between 0 and 10 degrees of Libra. The solar power of the Sun is reduced somewhat or distracted definitely by Venus, Lord of the sign of Libra. Indeed, Libra sign represents the setting sun, where the sun is setting below the horizon, being the seventh sign of the zodiac. And there is much beauty, much, let's say, artistic beauty to the setting sun. So Sun in Libra is one of the most artistically talented positions you can have. Form of the Sun, the Aditya, when the Sun is in Libra, is Pushan. He is the driver of the cattle. Because it's about bartering, it's about business. Sun has come down from his throne and he has found himself in the marketplace. And this again is why solar power is a bit depleted here, because the Sun has lost his specialness, his significance, his kingship. He is now simply one of many bartering in the marketplace. So when the Sun is in Libra, the ego is not so prominent, not so strong, but the desire to socialize, to join with other people is extremely strong. They do not like to be alone. Now, Sun is the father, so when the Sun has gone into Libra, you will find that you have difficulties relating to your father at some point. When you are young, certainly, father can have financial problems, health problems. He can even be, in the worst case, most afflicted scenario, lost to you completely. But there is always that tension, that difficulty relating to the father. And because the Sun has gone third away from his own home, there is a big karma with siblings very often. A big responsibility or connection to at least one sibling is very important to you, and it can be vice versa as well. And third away again gives Sun in Libra definite communication skills. What skill you have in social conversation, definitely. You are charming, even seductive, able to get on with all people from all stratas of society. But more than just being charming in your conversation, Sun in Libra have skilled in writing, in written communication of any form, whether it's writing books, journalism, blogging. You can communicate ideas extremely well. As I've said, Sun in Libra can be artistically talented. At the very least, you adore art forms, going to galleries, exhibitions, film shows, all of these things. And you are particularly attracted to fashion. Clothing design can fascinate you, and you can be talented. You can actually be fashion designer with this position. Certainly, one of the most important factors is you dislike disharmony in your environment. You cannot work in a disheveled, dirty place, or where there is chaos of any kind, and the same where you live. You are acutely aware and sensitive to your surroundings. But the biggest problem for all Sun in Libra, particularly 0 to 10 degrees Sun, is this lack of self-esteem early on. You may put on a big bravado show to the world, particularly in your social circles, but inside you are definitely very unsure of yourself. What's really going on is that your sense of self is diluted. You may have some difficulties because of some physical factor about yourself. Your height, your weight, your looks that make you feel different to other people occasionally, but that's not generally the thing. You generally don't really know who you are. It takes you a long time to find what you really want to do, what you are capable of. What's happening is you put a great emphasis on what other people say about you, how they guide you. They say, you're good at this, you're good at that, you should do this, you should not do that. You listen to other people. It's hard to listen to yourself. And when you get to Sun's maturity, about 21, 22 years of age, it's quite difficult because you have to make a definite decision. You feel pushed, a little bit cornered when you get to this age. Don't worry. In time, you can backtrack, but be very cautious to do everything which comes from your inner knowing. But because you spend so little time alone, that's the thing, it's hard to get to know yourself. So Sun in Libra, whatever age, a little bit of time listening to your inner voice. Don't be afraid. You will know what is the right thing to do. And Sun in Libra want to be fair, want to make good decisions that are actually good for everybody, because how other people feel about you is so important to you, perhaps sometimes too important. So just like the symbol of the scales going to this way, that way, you are always weighing things up carefully, always aware of the opposite side of any situation, the opposite argument. It becomes difficult to come to a conclusive decision. You will get better at it, though, as you mature in life. In relationships, well, Sun in Libra are charming, very often having many romances, many connections. It isn't difficult for you to find potential partners very often because people are attracted to you, definitely. But when it comes again to making decision who to commit to, this is where, once again, you're going to have some issues. But the absolute excellent soulmate for you is signified by sign of Aries. Now, this does not mean they have moon in Aries, sun or ascendant or any planet in that sign, but they are very, very quick to make decisions as you are slow. They are very sure of themselves, very forthright, very independent people. These are the exact people who you can find security and happiness with. Now, how do you get wealth in your life? The Aditya for this sign is Pushan, as I've just said. Pushan is the Aditya ruling the marketplace, driving the cattle, bringing trading. Many Sun in Libra get into business. You're an excellent barterer, excellent salesperson. You can sell virtually anything to anyone. At the same time, you do well working in a team, sales team, etc., or running business with a partner. Business partnership was made for Sun in Libra with the suitable partner. As I say, somebody with that Aries touch, that decisiveness, that bravado. You provide counteraction for them. You give caution to them. They give that forward motion. So Sun in Libra, business partnership is a definite source of wealth. And just as you are given creative power in selling, you are very good at dealing with money. Very often, Sun in Libra are talented accountants, and all of these fields are definitely good for you. Of course, artistic areas, writing, journalism, art forms, fashion, as I've said, are definitely there. Whatever you do by other factors in your chart, joining with others, being in a sociable work environment, no matter how competitive, makes you happy. Of course, when there is strength given to this sun, particularly by Jupiter, Sun in Libra make excellent lawyers, excellent attorneys, because they are weighing up things. They are acutely aware of how justice is done. Now, the main thing is, though, even though you may be doing the job that makes you feel good in life, what is your sole purpose? The sole purpose for the sun in Libra is to bring harmony to other people's lives, to make other people feel calmer, more settled, more harmonious. You are here to bring balance. So yes, focus goes away from self onto society, but this is good. You are here to make other people's lives more pleasant, maybe by your career, by being designer or artist, as I say, some field, or just settling their legal disputes. You don't have a strong sense of self, but that is because your sole purpose is to not be puffed up, not be proud, not be full of yourself. Every time you go into that, something feels wrong. So this is why basically Sun in Libra have a difficult time finding true path in life, because sense of self is weakened. But it's weakened so that you can give other people a sense of their self. That is your sole purpose. When the sun is in Scorpio, he's in the sign of his friend Mars. This is good. And Ketu is also co-lord of this sign. What's favorable here is that Sun is fire tattva, and so are Mars and Ketu. However, Sun has gone 4 away from his own sign of Leo when he's in Scorpio. The 4th away is like the midnight hour, the darkest moment. The Sun is secretive, hidden here. He's not going to be acting out so openly as he did in the other fire sign of Aries. The form of the sun, the Aditya, is Parjanya. Parjanya Aditya is very powerful. He brings rain to the parched land. It is a transformation from one state to another. Sun in Scorpio is powerful to transform your life. You will have to become somebody new in this very lifetime. The early life of a Sun in Scorpio person can be difficult indeed, because the Sun is 4 away from his own position. It is like the midnight hour, as I say. It contains some darkness, some conflict, some difficult circumstance. Very often this can involve the father. Father may be having difficulty, or father may be absolutely lost to you, or in some way there is lack of connection to the father that affects early life and early upbringing. But it can be less difficult when the sun has a good placement and good aspects. Especially Jupiter aspect will sort out many of these early difficulties. But as I say, Sun in Scorpio, because of the Aditya ruling this sign, is here to have a complete transformation from one state of being to another at some point in this life. So no matter what the early situation, you will rise above it like a phoenix from the ashes. But what does this transformation mean? It doesn't mean transforming physical self, becoming slimmer, becoming fitter, becoming a different fashion consciousness thing. It doesn't mean wearing different hairstyle. It doesn't mean anything superficial connected to your body. A transformation that is happening here is happening at the soul level. And since, as I've just explained on this video early on, soul is who you really are, you will feel like a completely different person. In addition, this transformation leaves the past behind completely. So when will this happen? Well, you have to see the whole chart, but you will definitely know, because Sun in Scorpio goes through many transitions, many big changes suddenly happening, because Scorpio is the actual sign of crisis. In general terms, Sun in Scorpio person is motivated because of all this triple fire axis, Mars, Ketu and the Sun. You are motivated to be something better than you were. You are motivated to be the best you can, to rise in every situation. You are extremely ambitious. What you dislike, though, is being told what to do, being controlled in any way. Yes, you listen to good advice. You listen to gurus, teachers, mentors very, very deeply, because you know they have wisdom which you desire to have also. But you are quite independent and extremely secretive. As I say, the sun has gone to the midnight hour here. You plan and get your motivation in the quiet of your own being. You love to have time alone, studying, particularly, of course, Sun in Scorpio. You are deeply interested in the occult mysteries of life. Mars is linked to astrology, occult astrology, and the Sun to the deep science of Jyotish, shedding light on existence. So Sun in Scorpio having both influences, you are very suited to all astrological study. Just like Sun in Aries, Sun in that Mars sign, Sun in Scorpio is brave, courageous, daring. When the moment comes, you will rise to the occasion every time. But here's the difference. Sun in Scorpio is not impulsive. You are a strategist. You will plan carefully every move and you will execute it perfectly, especially when the Sun in Scorpio is well placed by house and well aspected. When there is affliction to the Sun in Scorpio, though, you are just as brave, but you can be obsessive, a little bit manipulative, planning, sometimes revenge if you feel you've been wronged. You've got to be really careful not to hold a grudge when you have the Sun in Scorpio. It's definitely something you are here to completely transform and rise above. Scorpios investigate everything thoroughly. You take nothing on surface. You're highly suspicious sometimes as well, but you understand everybody's motive. So it's very hard to pull the wool over somebody's eyes when they have the Sun in Scorpio. You're a fantastic researcher, and this ability will help you in your academic studies most definitely. Now, in relationships, Sun in Scorpio is obviously, Sun finds himself in a water sign. Your emotions are deep. I mean, really deep. You can be obsessively falling in love. You can have deep attractions that are inexplicable to people that you would never normally like. It's all a bit of a mystery how quickly you become attracted to people. Now, not every Sun in Scorpio has these obsessive compulsive attractions, but if Venus should be in Scorpio as well, this is more likely to be happening. The trouble is that so many difficult emotions come up when you have romantic commitment relationships. You see, it's really hard for Sun in Scorpio to totally trust. You have suspicions about human nature, even those you are romantically closely involved with. You can be jealous, possessive, all of these things, and this can cause some relationship friction, definitely. It takes you a while to fully commit, that's for sure. But when you do commit, you are fully and totally involved. Sun in Scorpio would virtually lay down their life for those they love. And this includes friends as well. The thing is, Sun in Scorpio demands equal amount of commitment and devotion from partners and their friendships, which can, to say the least, cause a little bit of tension time to time. It's a very special person who is your soulmate for sure. And who is your soulmate? The opposite sign is Taurus. Now, this doesn't mean Sun in Taurus, Moon ascendant in Taurus person. They might have no planets at all in that sign of Taurus, but they are down to earth. They are grounded. They are not manipulating with emotion. They are straightforward. They make you feel happier and more connected. How does Sun in Scorpio find wealth and resources? Well, the Aditya is Parjanya. Parjanya brings the rains after drought, brings abundance after there has been lack. So your financial situation goes through real transformations, up and down, from everything to nothing frequently, but you always rise again. You get financial security, resources when you are daring, when you are helping others transform their life, especially any job involving medicine, healing, caring for, counseling, psychotherapy, helping others have a more renewed strength, supporting others. You get wealth from that. You can sometimes even manipulate successfully with a good Jupiter aspect, financial market, stock market, etc. It's just like Parjanya Aditya, keeping all of those rain clouds full of resources and then pouring them on the land. You know how to store money, save money, and make it grow. That's the thing. And you are not afraid of taking a risk. And because Mars and K2 all represent housing, landed interest, building, all of these things, you can make money from property and everything to do with the home. And what is your soul purpose? First of all, the power to let go, to let what is not working go completely. Few people have this power to start anew in a completely different direction. This is part of your soul purpose. All of this enlivens your soul, makes you feel freer and happier. And secondly, you are here for deep wisdom, deep knowledge. Sun in Scorpio has come to get renewed spiritually, truly. You cannot leave this lifetime having lived a life on a purely surface material level. You will just be going through the motions. There will be no satisfaction whatsoever. It's a very good placement for the sun when he's in Sagittarius because it's a fire sign. Fire tattva is, of course, equal to the sun's own fire energy. But more than that, it is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a great friend to the sun. The sun has gone 5 signs away from his own house. He's in the mood to teach, in the mood to gather knowledge, in the mood to learn when he's in Sagittarius. And most of all, he is looking for dharmic wisdom. The Aditya is Amsuman, the maker of divisions, giving out rightful proportion, dividing everything so that everybody gets rightful share. This is about making sure that fairness happens in society. This is your absolute dharmic purpose. This is why one of the first things about having the sun in Sagittarius is that you are concerned with right action. You want to do the right thing. You feel this push to do what is just and fair in your life. And you are very concerned about injustice happening in any situation in the world. That is why you've taken birth with this sun in Sagittarius, to find a philosophy, a structural system of moral behavior which will give you guidance. And you will search long and hard until you find this. You will search through academic education, religious systems, philosophies with gurus, teachers, mentors, until you find that truth that resonates with your soul. And whatever knowledge you gain, whatever philosophy you follow, Sun in Sagittarius wants to give it out again. You want to spread it far and wide into human society. On a very basic level though, Sun in Sagittarius makes you a restless explorer of this planet. You need to be on the move, meeting new people, going into foreign land, foreign cultures, exploring different aspects of human experience is very important to you. You're a fantastic learner, so education is great for you. You want to take it to the top, the most highest level, but you are a little bit impatient with your learning. You get bored on an education course very, very quickly. So, funnily enough, although you are highly intelligent, motivated to learn, Sun in Sagittarius frequently have breaks in their formal education. Now, for some of you, this may make career progress a little bit stilted, shall we say, sometimes if there is affliction to this sun here. But you never stop learning. You are greedy for knowledge at every stage of your life, even into a very advanced age. And if it is not afflicted too much, the sun in this sign makes you physically active also into a very advanced age. Sun helps your health, helps your vitality, helps you have a strong immune system. You love to keep physically active. Physical activity makes you happy. Without physical activity, you feel chained, you feel restricted. So you are often a very sporty person sometimes, or at least constantly exercising, doing something to burn off this restless energy. You can have a very large network of friends from all over the world sometimes with this sun in Sagittarius. You like to keep in contact with many people, and you are definitely popular socially. The sun in Jupiter's sign makes you truthful, honest, forthright. You're not secretive, you don't hide things, but sometimes you can be a little bit lacking in diplomacy. You just say things as they are, blurting out things that can actually hurt people sometimes, something to be aware of. But on a negative level, particularly when not well placed by house or aspected by malefic planets, sun in this sign can be reckless. You can just leave things behind, relationships, jobs, anything, just go and do something different without thinking truly about the consequences of your actions. So even though you are highly moral, malefics can make you very impulsive. Health is normally good. Sun in Sagittarius gives you strong vitality, strong immune system, definitely. But here's the thing, you're a little bit greedy about food, self-indulgent, particularly sweet food, because Sun is in the sign of Jupiter, which rules such foods. In relationships, you are very, very changeable, always changing idea about what you want in relationship, what you can give in a relationship. You're not very stable in your relationship sometimes, especially with affliction to this sun. But here's the thing, your soulmate has an intellectual connection to you because Gemini is the 7th sign away from this sun. Sometimes you can find it hard to commit, to settle down. So here's the thing, you need a partner who who has that intellectual stimulation, someone who is engaged with their own world, with their own learning, with their own life, and can talk to you about the deep, meaningful philosophies that are important to you. You want to grow, you want to travel, you want to have a stimulating relationship. Mundane, everyday domesticity is difficult for the Sun in Sagittarius. Nonetheless, you are very committed to your family, very caring, wanting to do the right thing, giving time and energy to the protection of your family because the Sun is dharmic in this sign. You can often have many suns, it is said, when the Sun is in Sagittarius. What is your creative power? How do you get wealth when the Sun is in Sagittarius? Through the Aditya and Suman, which is going to give you the power to give out knowledge, give out wisdom, and create more equality and fairness in society. Wealth and abundance come to you through publishing, writing, through journalism, definitely through traveling very often, gaining wisdom and giving it out again to others. You get wealth through your intellectual ability, most definitely. And working with those who are disadvantaged, people who do not have justice happening to them in society. Sun in Sagittarius is definitely interested in helping these people, and doing so, abundance comes to you. The Sun is also linked to legalities, justice. So very often Sun in Sagittarius work in some legal field. And again, this can be very prosperous indeed. It's hard for Sun in this dual sign, though, to settle to just one profession, one way of earning a living. Very often you are multi-talented, having multifaceted career or even business going on. But you're not entirely business-minded person. That's the thing, because your mind is always directed to your studies. You're always learning something, always picking up some new talent and wisdom. A definite factor is dealing with disputes, because this is a battlefield sign. So very often Sun here helps you creatively expert at settling disputes between people. Any work in this field is definitely going to become abundant for you. And what is your soul purpose? First and foremost, you must find your philosophy, your moral code. You didn't have this past life, and your soul is greedy for this system of belief. And because Sagittarius is a battlefield, your sole purpose, rather than outward earning purpose, is to fight a battle within yourself. You will always be fighting the moral code within yourself. No, I shouldn't do this, I should do that. You are here to follow dharmic action, righteous action, moral code. But it's not easy. It will always be a battle. You have to win this battle. It's your sole purpose. Now, when the Sun's gone to Capricorn, he's gone to the sign of his enemy Saturn. There's going to be some conflict in your life, some challenges, certainly. And he has gone 6 signs away from his own sign of Leo. This means certainly many challenges and obstacles have to be overcome in your life. But the good news, the Aditya ruling this Sun in Capricorn is known as Bhagya. Aditya is the overlord of time, and he is the brother of the dawn. So eventually, after struggle and strife and a lot of hard work, the Sun in Capricorn shows great rewards. When that dawn comes in your life, there are very many blessings to be had. So, lorded over by the Lord of Time, Bhagya, the Sun in Capricorn, has patience, has commitment to wait for the right time. You are inwardly aware that things happen at the correct time, that there is no point rushing impulsively into things. Things have to be done systematically, slowly, and with tremendous hard work when you have the Sun in Capricorn. The Sun in Capricorn has intense ambition, but also you are intensely aware of the competition. Why? Because Sun has gone 6 houses away from his own sign of Leo. 6th house is competition, conflict, litigation. You are very cautious making moves. You think things through very strategically, and as I say, you know that timing will be everything. Sun in Capricorn is intensely aware of hierarchies in society, and you want to climb up them. You want to be successful. You want to better yourself socially. But wherever your starting point is, there is always conflict at the beginning of your journey. The early home environment can be challenging to both mother and father in some various way, but Sun is father. So an afflicted Sun in Capricorn, especially with Saturn, father can have financial loss, father can have health problems, father can have many issues which cause distress for the family and yourself. But the saving grace of Guru, Jupiter, aspecting the Sun will save everything. There can be difficulties, but they will be definitely overcome. Sometimes Sun in Capricorn people have to stand on their own feet very early in your life. You definitely value tradition and structure because you feel happier when you know exactly what is expected of you. You are naturally very respectful to your elders, and the family tradition itself is very important to those with the Sun in Capricorn. Sun in Capricorn people admire those who have made it in society, been materially successful under their own steam. You seek to emulate these sort of successful people. And do you know how to work? This is the actual sign of Saturn. And the Sun and Saturn are enemies to each other. So you will not be taking risks in any work situation. You will always work cautiously and systematically in any job or working situation because you would rather do a job thoroughly than even bother to do it. So as they say, a job's worth doing well is definitely a motto for the Sun in Capricorn. But even though you are very thorough, very committed, hard-working, there are always obstacles, consistently obstacles coming on to your progress. Sometimes you would like to do certain jobs, certain career, but circumstances outside of your control provide problems, and you have to give up on some ambitions at some time when the Sun is in Capricorn. But do not let these disappointments drag you down. They are happening because of the eternal enmity between the Sun and Saturn. But if you pick yourself up, if you start afresh, if you do not lose hope, you will definitely get success. At the right time, Bhagya Aditya will open the door for your successes most definitely. Sometimes early health issues also are a difficulty for you because the Sun, as I say, is 6 houses away to do with health. But actually, you are talented dealing with your health and talented in medical fields very often with this Sun in Capricorn. You can be a little bit tough on other people though, sometimes very, very strict, maybe dealing with your siblings, dealing with your co-workers. You like everything done by the book and you get upset if it isn't being done in this dutiful way. Now, intimate relationships, marriage, spousal marriage, and even deep friendships are very karmic when you have Sun in this Capricorn sign. You see, Sun here rises in life by who you know rather than what you know very often. By the way, Sun in Capricorn people often meet a mate through their work situations, commonly seen. But here's the thing, however you meet your mate, you often rise in life, have a whole new social sphere open up to you through your partner in life. How is this happening? Because Bhagya Aditya, as well as being Lord of Time, is the chief of marriage. So marriage, relationship commitment is very important in your whole destiny when you have the Sun in Capricorn. But that doesn't mean that every Sun in Capricorn person will marry. Very often you do not marry due to other karmas, or there is a late marriage, again commonly seen. And the Sun in Capricorn, though, also brings obligations through your spouse. Very often you are taking on more in this relationship than you first realize. There is hard work to be done. There is some struggle to be actually gone through with your spouse. It's always something which is about paying back past debt. Don't be afraid of this though, because it is definitely karmic for you to commit when you find this soul partner. And who is your soulmate? They will have Cancerian qualities, not necessarily Sun, Moon, Ascendant in the sign of Cancer, might not have any planets in that sign, but they are committed to family totally. They are committed to home, tradition, and they match with you perfectly. How do wealth and resources come to you when the sun is in Capricorn? What is your creative power? Your creative power is your patience, is your total hard labor. And then without you doing anything at all, the dawn of your life, that opportunity you've wanted for so long, surely opens to you by the power of Bhagya Aditya. And what is your soul purpose? When the sun is in Capricorn, it is to accept responsibility, duty, to stick to the social structure in which you are born, but make it work. Be a protector of other people, of the family tradition, most definitely. You are suited to any situation where you have to provide structure, such as engineering, medicine, politics, legal work, anywhere where you provide safety and structure for other people, you can find soul purpose and fulfillment. The one thing you should remember, though, is that Saturn is labor. The sun in Capricorn, even if you are not employed formally, you need to have some work routine every day. Really, right until your very elderly days, sun in Capricorn needs to be meaningfully engaged in work. Work is your sole purpose. Work itself, just that karma yoga, doing it for the sake of it, because it is God-given duty. This is what your soul purpose is about. Never put down those tools. They are there for you to make you happy. The sun in Aquarius is once again in the sign of enemies, Saturn, and this time Rahu as well. The sun in Aquarius is also 7th away from his own sign of Leo. He's as far away from his home as he can get. So it's not a comfortable position for the sun, but there are definite benefits. The form of the sun god, which is the sun in Aquarius, is Tavastra Aditya. This powerful Aditya gives you the power of innovation, but you should know he is always in opposition to Indra, the Aditya of the opposite sign, Leo. Indra is the king of the gods, so sun in Aquarius is in some way actually rebelling against this authority. And this inner rebelliousness is definitely intrinsic to understanding the sun in Aquarius. It's because Aquarius has two lords, Saturn and Rahu, and they seem to be actually opposed to each other, but they are not. Saturn is conservative, tradition, everything about traditional societal values. Rahu is complete rebellion, outside of the borders, going away into different traditions, rebelling completely. But actually, you are going to have to use both of these powers. You are here to serve society, tradition, but in a completely novel way, which is Rahu. But the early life experience, early home environment maybe, is really not optimal to you. In some way, you just feel like you do not belong. You feel as though you've just ended up in a totally alien environment. It is not that you are lacking in love, security, but that you just don't seem to fit in. It can take you some time into your maturity, sometimes Saturn's maturity, 36, or even Rahu's maturity, 42, until you really get into your stride. It's happened because the sun is wandering far from his palace. He has gone into the actual world of the common people, which is Saturn, and even outside of the very borders of his land, ruled by Rahu. He does not feel fully himself. So this is how you will feel for a certain portion of your life. Now, because Aquarius is the 11th sign of network circles, Sun in Aquarius finds purpose through their network circles, groups of people, societal groups. These can be political, religious, social, any sort of group. When you belong to these larger organizations, you begin to feel happy. You begin to feel actually more like yourself. See, Sun in the opposite sign, Leo, is just himself, the king. There is no problem. His ego is just completely immersed in his own identity. But Sun in Aquarius doesn't have that identity. You get identity by fighting for a cause, by being part of something larger than yourself. When you find some societal group to belong to fight for, to immerse yourself in, you have definitely come home, and you will be continually shifting between many of these situations throughout your life. And Rahu represents non-human beings, so Sun in Aquarius are very active in animal rights, concerns about well-being of non-humans as well. At the heart of everything, though, Sun in Aquarius just wants to oppose whatever is the current system. So it's a bit strange how it can actually go. Whoever is in power, you want to oppose. When they get into power, you still want to oppose. Sun in Aquarius feels happiest when they are in some sort of opposition, some sort of rebellion sometimes. But it isn't always going to give you happiness. Here's the thing. You have to accept tradition too, because your purpose is to work within established society and improve it. So very often Sun in Aquarius people take a very traditional job, but do it in a totally novel and completely different way. Now, when it comes to your relationships, this is where we get into some very deep waters, because Sun in Aquarius are unique personality, very hard to get to know you. Sun in Aquarius people are always surprising people, doing something they did not expect. It's simply because there's a slight barrier between yourself and other people. See, Aquarius is an air sign. Sun here makes you a bit detached from your feelings, emotions. You put up a barrier between yourself and other people without even knowing that you are doing it. You are protecting yourself. What from? From that deep emotional connection which will cause you to become vulnerable. Without meaning to, Sun in Aquarius people can seem a little detached, a little aloof, a little cool even sometimes towards their partners. Partners become unsure of the Sun in Aquarius person's commitment. Thing is, Aquarians are even a little bit slightly antisocial. They are so independent, so unique, even though they can belong to all of these societies, friendship groups, etc., and they love their friends, they still like time alone. They are still a little bit aloof from it all. The ideal mate, therefore, is a Leonian type person. This doesn't mean they have the Sun in Leo, Moon in Leo, Ascendant in Leo. They may have no planets in that Leo sign, but they have the quality of self-assurance and social etiquette. See, Sun in Aquarius people can be a little bit abrupt, not very good with those social niceties, but somebody who has those Leo qualities is going to have all of those in abundance. You need someone who can deal with society's desires for you, who can dress good, look good, because you're not even truly bothered about those things. And this provides a front for you so that you can get on with your causes, what really matters to you. See, Aquarius needs to feel safe in relationships, secure, but at the same time have space. So this confident, kingly, purposeful person who has their own independent way of doing things, this is the perfect match for Aquarius. Now, as I've said, the Sun sign is our source of wealth and creativity. How will the Sun in Aquarius get wealth and abundance? Sun has gone so far away from his own home, his own palace. How is he going to make ends meet? Literally, it's very clear through the qualities of Saturn and Rahu combined. The form of the Sun god in Aquarius, Tavastra Aditya, is about doing things differently, innovation, independence, and uniqueness, even inventiveness. See, it doesn't really matter what you are doing. That will be shown by many other factors in your chart. As I say, Sun in Aquarius likes traditional jobs such as teaching, just being in government jobs. Aquarius is very akin to Saturn, government, doing anything which has a tradition to it, politics particularly, but doing it differently, uniquely. And it isn't about self. It isn't about being noticed. It's about doing it differently to benefit society. So experiment. That's what Sun in Aquarius is about. Experiment with a completely different reality, way of doing things. Try things out. Do not be afraid to be different. The more different you are in your workplace, in your job, in your contribution, the more success you will get. And what is the sole purpose of Sun in Aquarius? Well, here's the thing. I haven't mentioned this before, but Aquarius carries karmic debt. Any planets here are paying back karmic debt, and the Sun in particular, because Sun, as I say, has gone 7 signs away. Past lifetime, you had status, you had prominence, you may still have it, but still you have to give away now. You cannot hoard anymore. You took service from other people past life, and this life, it's really simple. You have to pay it back. So definitely don't think what's in it for me, but what can I give? With this attitude, Sun in Aquarius gets happiness inside, a real feeling of total satisfaction. The Sun in Pisces is very at home here because actually he's in the home of his good friend Jupiter. He's also in the sign of Ketu. There's a very strong past life continuity of spiritual wisdom and understanding, and great knowledge can actually come to someone with the Sun in Pisces. On the other hand, the Sun has gone 8 houses away from his own home in Leo. So the identity, the self-awareness is going to undergo some definite difficult processes in this lifetime. But fortunately, the Aditya, the form of the Sun in Pisces, is Vishnu Aditya. He gives wisdom, he gives protection, he gives true compassion, which will be a blessing to you and to everybody who you interact with. Because of Jupiter's rulership here, Sun in Pisces is a kindly, gentle, caring person with the highest ethics and honesty at all times. But the thing is that you may go through somewhat of an identity crisis early in life. You can be unsure of yourself, lacking confidence in yourself, maybe very, very influenced by other people. You don't know quite what you're supposed to do in this life. Things feel very cloudy and unclear. But still, your inner soul, your inner self, you is driving you on into spiritual experience from a very early age. You want to explore the religious system. You love to travel. You are very interested in foreign lands, foreign cultures, experience. And you are always finding out new ways of finding inner truth of life. You feel connected to something bigger than yourself. And this is most definitely the truth. You're a very intuitive person. You have natural wisdom, somewhat withdrawn sometimes. You need a lot of time to yourself. Very often you can have those psychic experiences like deja vu, knowing that you've been somewhere before, having that intuition. It's coming from Ketu. You are definitely connected through Ketu to your past life experience. You're very adaptable and easily changing into new situations. That's a very favorable factor. And you're endlessly compassionate. The biggest plus about Sun in Pisces is your deep compassion. The biggest blessing you have been given from Vishnu Aditya is to forgive. This is the most important spiritual lesson anybody has to learn in this earthly plane, Buloko. We have to learn to let go, to forgive. So you have this, use it. It will make your life so much happier, so much freer, and you will actually burn so much difficult karma by this. So you can end lifetimes of endless competitiveness and difficulty with this Sun in Pisces. You may be right now with individuals who you've had competition with, difficulty with. Opposite sign Virgo is the 6th house, but you can rise above it all in this very lifetime. But under affliction, even that compassion which you give to other people, you don't always give it to yourself. You can be very demanding. Saturn, for example, afflicting Sun in this Pisces sign. You become critical of yourself. Hard working, yes, but maybe too hard, demanding too much of yourself sometimes. If after pushing yourself, giving all this hard work application, Sun in Pisces are not getting success, you become filled with self-doubt. This is coming from the co-ruler Ketu. But there's a reason for this. You see, Ketu is not interested in material existence, material success, material life. As he is co-ruler of this Sun sign, he will sometimes literally trip you up so that you come to your senses. What are you putting all of this effort for? For something which is temporary, which will not actually help you eternally, which will actually cause endless unnecessary karmas to be made. In this way, Ketu will definitely stop you in your tracks. There will be endless obstacles. You can even make mistakes. Ketu rules mistakes and just become even harder on yourself. But hold fire. Ketu is trying to give you that intuition again to get to your deep wisdom. You've done all this before, he's saying. Why are you going through all this again? So Sun in Pisces, you are connected to some deep past life karmas that you come to finalize here. But Ketu will make sure that you never lose track of your deep inner wisdom, of your deep spiritual knowledge and spiritual path. So whatever you're doing, wherever you go in life, Ketu will always be there with you, whispering in your ear, hold on, there's more to life than this. And very often he will take you into isolating situations, retreats, going into foreign lands to get spiritual wisdom. You will be taken to these situations where you find gurus, teachers who give you this deep wisdom which you are here to find. Sometimes spiritual wisdom comes to you from formalized religious systems, definitely, but it can also come from new areas as well. It's something which you cannot go through this life without. As long as you are in tune with your spiritual practice, you will not make a mistake. You will feel happy and satisfied. As soon as you lose track of that and become completely materially engaged, neither Jupiter nor Ketu, rulers of the sun, can help you and you become lost. So it doesn't matter what religion, what the spirituality is, Sun in Pisces needs a definite spiritual routine. You need to have this as part of your existence. Once you have this, everything else in your life will fall into place. Work situations, relationships, health, everything becomes better, becomes solidified and just really good when you have this spiritual practice. The minute you drop it, everything literally becomes chaotic. Now, in relationships, Sun in Pisces can be quite fortunate. You're very good for your mate. You're a caring, compassionate, kind person. You give so much to intimate relationships, but you need the right partner. The right partner for you has the opposite sign qualities, that of Virgo. They haven't got to have the sun, moon, ascendant in Virgo or any planet there, but they have to have that practical, down-to-earth factor. A Virgonian type soulmate is ideal because they fill the gaps in your experience. They can be a bit critical of you, but you can rise above it. And of course, you can give back to them spiritual wisdom. It's a win-win situation. But in all relationships, including friendships, watch for your moodiness. Sun in Pisces, your mood is always changing, always shifting up and down. So people don't always know what to expect of you. You can be temperamental sometimes, getting yourself into a real ball of worry and concern. And this can put strain on your closest relationships. Try to work out these feelings to yourself. Otherwise, people see you as being a little bit self-indulgent and quite demanding in friendship and relationship. Now, because Jupiter is, of course, ruler of this sign of Pisces, having children, working with children, being with young people is lucky for you and often very favorable unless there is severe affliction to the sun. How do you get wealth and abundance? Well, first of all, by not focusing on it at all. Vishnu Aditya will give you back the benefits of your past karmas. When you are focused on your spiritual life, as I've said, you are absolutely certain to get everything which is due to you and more. On a very deep level, it's about karma yoga, not being attached to the results of your action. You're at this high level in this incarnation. So rather than working for gain, you are just working for the sake of doing duty. When you do this, Vishnu Aditya gives you all that you need, as I say, and much more. It's very important, in fact, to get this attitude right, because on a negative level, the most affliction to this sun in Pisces, without this spiritual attitude, without this karma yoga attitude of non-attachment, Pisces become very attached, very worried, very self-centered about everything they are doing and endlessly heavy on themselves. It can even get you into negative health habits like alcoholism, drug abuse, everything. They come easily to Sun in Pisces because it's the 12th sign about escapism. And clearly, when you go down that most negative path, there will be no abundance at all. So Keep to the spiritual path, even if it seems vague. Have some connection to something higher than yourself. You will be happy. You will be successful. Work where your compassion and empathy comes to the fore is definitely good for you. Working with children, teaching, medicine, counseling, psychotherapy, crisis work, or whatever it is, where you give to the needy, where you're definitely doing something which is kind and caring and makes other people appreciate that about you. This is where you can get the most success and definite happiness. The sun very well placed and well aspected, you could get success in writing, because imagination is very, very strong here. You can be a fantastic teller of tales and stories. Indeed, because of Ketu ruling past life, strong influence here, Sun in Pisces people often bring back a skill from past life which you easily get into, like art skill, musical skill, dance skill. Definitely Ketu rules dance and Pisces is the feet. What is your sole purpose? It should be obvious. It's to find your spiritual path and pursue it, though. It's one thing to have a spiritual belief system, but to actually practice it regularly, this is why you are here. This is part of your sole purpose. And at the most deepest fundamental level, the sole purpose of a Sun in Pisces person is to forgive, to do this great tapasya, this great renunciation, where you just simply let go of what other people have apparently done to you, seeing the deep wisdom that it is simply your karma coming back. You let it go and relieve yourself of so many strings and ties to past karma. This is a great soul purpose, one you must definitely not miss. Remedies for the sun. Every one of us need a remedy for the sun, because Surya, Ravi, is the essence of our existence. We all need to make the sun strong in our chart. Of course, if your sun is in debility, perhaps in Libra or in Aquarius, where he is afflicted by Saturn and Rahu, or where your sun just has any malefic influence like Saturn, Rahu in whatever sign, and even Ketu sometimes, you definitely need a remedy. So check your chart carefully. But even without that, these remedies are powerful for our health, wealth, and our vitality and happiness. There are two ways you can do this. First of all, you have to greet the sun. The sun rises without fail every day. He never fails us. We must not fail him. He's like the king entering the room. When the king enters the room, should we be lying down or should we be standing up? Who will he show favor to? It's very clear. We have to be up before sunrise. Now, this can be difficult certain times of year, but at the very least, we have to make attempt to do this. And when we are up with that sunrise, we hold that power in our hands by our prayer. Now, this can be any religious system, but just let me give you some excellent Vedic mantras that will give you definite result. The first mantra is Om Namah Suraya, chanted 12 times or 108 times or more. But here's the thing, we should be ready to chant this at least 24 minutes before sunrise. Washed, dressed, clean clothes, etc. And the most important moment is that 24 seconds of actual sunrise. These minute portions of time contain incredible potency. Another beautiful mantra in the same way is Om Hrim Suraya Namah. Again, 12 times minimum, but also 108 times ideally. This should be done as much as you can, and of course, definitely on a Sunday. In addition, fasting on a Sunday, definitely, and minimum, of course, becoming vegetarian on a Sunday. Don't forget, it doesn't have to be Vedic prayer. We are connecting to the Supreme, definitely, through the potency of Surya. So most definitely, there are many potent prayers from all religious systems. At sunrise, they are going to help you most certainly. For example, Christian religion, Our Father prayer was definitely made for these early morning hours. Up on your screen now, the karmas of all the other planets. Also, check those out in your chart. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Coming up as well very soon, the sun in all the houses. Goodbye for now. God bless you all.